wanna be the very best that no one ever was. And my real test. My skin is my cause. Pokemon!
That's not how it goes. You guys are terrible.
Sup? Welcome to the Estrogen Files.
This week we're going to be discussing Pokemon, the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back!
This week, I would like to talk about how Pokemon affected us all as children individually. The summer before I came to America, I moved to Japan for the summer with my parents. So Pokemon was huge there, but I didn't have any friends there because it was the summer and I was just with my parents. And I was like, oh, Pokemon is everywhere, what is this? And then I came back for 4th grade and everyone suddenly got into Pokemon. And I was so not about Pokemon because it just reminded me of a time that was very lonely.
Aww.
So, but now as an adult, I can appreciate Pokemon and see how cool it was because all my friends really like Pokemon, so I started watching it, including this awesome film that we saw. And Pokemon is great.
It was so cool.
So cool.
My brothers were very, very into Pokemon, and I think that they were more into it than me. Or the older one was. Because one of them was like an infant, so he probably wasn't as into it as much. But yeah, they were really into it. We would make up the way to play the card game. I don't think we ever knew how. And then I remember my aunt didn't like it. We were over at her house one time with my cousins, and she ripped up all of our Pokemon cards and threw them away.
Like, if Garrett was my aunt, would have ripped up something I loved, I would have taped it back together, sat out, and kept playing it. Like, just to be an asshole back. I was like, nope, I'm gonna play Pokemon, even though half of this is Charizard and half of it's Pikachu.
Ooh, wow. That would have been a nice mix.
That's a good mix, yeah. What would you do if your stuff got ruined by your aunt or grandmother? Comment below.
Stab them.
This week, I want to talk about how Age of Ultron and the beginning of this movie are basically the same thing. So, it comes on and he's like in a tube. Mewtwo is in a tube and he breaks it, and these guys are like, we will use you for us, and blah blah blah, and then Mewtwo's like, fuck all of you. Mewtwo is Ultron. And then goes and decides that the only way to like save the world is to destroy it, which is what Avengers is. So I just thought it was very interesting.
And it's Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
That's Stitch.
Yes.
Stitch is created from a tube. They like,
But they want to destroy
No,
Stitch.
but the man who like created Stitch, like created him to not be the monster he was,
Yeah.
and then he became this monster, and then he went to Earth to destroy Earth, and then like Mewtwo was like changed for the better because of some human,
Yeah.
and like and Stitch is fine. So Ash is Lilo.
You heard it
And
here first, folks.
Ash is the equivalent of Lilo, and Stitch is Mewtwo.
Mahalo. This week, I want to discuss how my first attempt at fanfiction was actually an accident. So, in elementary school, we were told to write a story about the Oregon Trail and put ourselves into the story. And me, being a huge Pokemon fan at the time, decided to not only write myself in, but write in Ash, Misty, and Brock as my siblings as we traveled across the United States in a covered wagon, using our pets to duel along the way.
The Pokemon were your pets? Or you had pets that were like cats and dogs?
Well, it was real life, so...
So was Pikachu a cat that you dyed yellow with some red?
No, it was just a dog. I couldn't make it too unrealistic. It was for a class
But they were
assignment.
dueling, so you were originally also grew up with dog fights now?
Back
Michael
in the
Bay
Oregon
did that.
Trail days, I'm sure that wasn't illegal yet. Because most of the country wasn't a country yet, and they didn't have a lot of laws.
What is everyone's favorite fanfiction they've ever read, and or the first fanfiction they ever read? What was it about?
Oh, I don't know if I should say without it being censored.
Oh, I know hers.
Just do it.
I don't remember what the first fanfiction I ever read was, but the first one I started writing was Hermione and Snape love story.
Snape?
Oh yes, it was hot.
My favorite one I've ever read, and it introduced me to a Lifehouse song, was a Harry and Hermione fanfiction that I read when I was like I think it was like fanfiction websites just became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I read it, and it was so many chapters. It was a so elaborate storyline that at one point they danced to Everything by Lifehouse.
My first fanfiction that I read that I didn't know when I was reading was fanfiction until I got to the end was Take That fanfiction. That's right.
Like the band, like
the band.
It was Robbie Williams and
Robbie
Gary
Williams.
Barlow.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was.
Wait,
The other
it
three
was like
members-
them together?
Well, kind of. So the other three members had like gone out to get biscuits or something. They weren't in the story. That's what I imagined them going to do. Or maybe for like a nice Indian meal, because Jason likes Indian food. And yeah, so Gary was like on the piano and Robbie comes in and they like had, and it's also like, I think it was like children versions of themselves too, which I found really weird. I didn't know this was fanfiction until like I got like halfway
Did you
through.
say it was an article?
Yeah.
This week, I want to talk about my emotional reaction to Pikachu crying over Ash.
That took so long for them to bring him back. Like, that scene went on for a really long time, I feel like.
I just progressively kept
It's
crying.
emotional. They wanted the audience to feel.
They wanted the audience of 5-year-olds to feel that?
Yeah.
I was crying when Pikachu was running up the stairs and the balls were coming after him. And then like, I was like, run! And then I was crying when he was crying because it's like Pikachu just wanted him to be alive. I was really upset.
And now you're laughing.
I can't.
How dare you?
I just really was upset about it.
No, I cry every time My Brother
Oh,
starts
Jesus
coming on.
Christ.
It's like, brother, my brother. And they're all fighting. And then the whole fight's happening and Ash gets in there.
No, I did want to talk about that. What the fuck with that song? And they're slapping the shit out of it. Should it be action?
Oh my God.
It's so weird.
When Pikachu is crying and slapping the other Pikachu, and they're just like,
And the Pikachu isn't fighting back. It
Oh
was
my
such
God.
a
Do you guys not
strange
realize
scene.
that it's such a message of like that like Ash was like he was the catalyst, the person that like changed the thinking. Ash like hugs his Pokemon after every battle because he loves them. The other trainer literally just uses his Pokemon as like units of battle. Like Ash cares and loves his Pokemon.
But he still battles with them.
Yeah, but they love him and that's why they allow it to happen.
Vic held his dogs every once in a while, but he still dog fought with the dogs.
I'm not saying that the Pokemon universe makes sense. I'm just saying out of all of the people in that universe, Ash cared.
Thank you guys so much for watching the Estrogen Files. If you like this, please subscribe below or check out our Twitters or check out our social media of any kind, including Instagram or Facebook or Tumblr. We have them all. Collectively, we are the Estrogen Files. Individually, I am Hannah.
Natalie.
Dr. Shoshana Diwali.
And I'm Rachel.
Bye.